These are 3 signs that you'll actually succeed in losing weight this time around. And I know this because this is the same psychology and thinking that I had to adopt myself in order to lose over 80 pounds. And make sure you stay for the 3rd sign, because I take something that you've probably heard before, but I have my own take on it, which adds a new layer that really improves your chances of success when it comes to weight loss. Sign number 1 is that you have a fail faster mindset. You are willing to try things. You are willing to take action, because you never know until you try. And with social media, it can be very easy to get lost in the sauce of never-ending amounts of fitness content. I guess like this here, but it's okay because my information is actually helpful. And with that information, what that leads to is confusion. It leads to overwhelm. So most people never actually do anything with that information. They have this term in the personal development space. They call it mental masturbation. And when I heard it for the first time, I was mad because I was like, dang, that's me. It's when you feel like you're making progress on your goals, or you're doing something to move you forward by listening to podcasts and reading books and watching a bunch of YouTube videos, but never actually doing anything about it. So if you feel called out like I was when I first heard it, good, because I want you to develop an action-taking mindset, because the faster you fail, the faster you learn. And it's okay if things don't work out or you find it doesn't work for you because of your schedule or your preferences. If you're too tired after a work day to hit the gym, try early morning workouts. It's gonna suck in the beginning and it's gonna be tough because any new schedule or habit change is a little hard. But it might just be the thing that helps you be consistent with the habit you're trying to build. But you never know until you try. And I wanna highlight this again. Learn from your failures. Don't just keep falling into the same trap. I kept falling into the same trap when I was trying to lose weight, and that's why I yo-yo dieted till like my early 20s. I'm 31 now. I would lose 60 pounds, gain 65 back, lose 45 pounds, gain 30 back. It's because I wasn't actually learning. I kept doing the same thing over and over again. I would restrict myself from any of the foods that I enjoyed. I told myself, if I want to lose weight, I can never eat these unhealthy foods again. And my cravings would build and build until they were uncontrollable, to the point that I would crack, have a huge binge, and then that would lead to this whole, I messed up, I might as well do a little bit more the next day. And that would always end up in a spiral until a few months down the road when I was sick of how I looked at myself in the mirror again. And then the cycle would repeat. Does that sound familiar? So what did I actually have to learn from this failure? I learned that I have to satisfy my cravings when they're small and when I can be in more control over my food choices, which is, by the way, how you eat in moderation. There are other tactics and strategies we won't get into here, but that's the main thing. You put yourself in positions of more control. If you feel like, oh, I can't control myself, well, are you putting yourself in situations where you can succeed in that? Or are you skipping breakfast and not eating till 1 p.m. so you're starved, and then your coworkers ask you to go eat lunch so you get the thing you know that isn't in alignment with your goals? I did a whole video where I ran an experiment and ate all of the foods I craved for a week and still lost weight. I talk more about this over there. I'll have it linked down in the description and at the end of this video if you want to check that out. The second sign you'll be successful with your weight loss is you focus on simple things. You do the boring work. By simplifying everything, it really comes down to conserving your energy. We all have lives outside of our health and fitness goals. We have relationships, families, hobbies, career, you name it. That means you have to be smart about how you use your energy because we only have so much of it. This is how I want you to view your energy. Let's say you have 8 units of energy. But this is if you sleep 7 to 9 hours, you eat good healthy foods, you manage your stress, you drink enough water, you get it. But the reality is that life is messy and unexpected, and you're here trying to lose weight or get fit, so things are probably not dialed in, which means you're not running at your full battery capacity. It's like that setting you could turn on your phone so you only charge it to 80% full. That's probably you. So you're actually not working off 8 units of energy, and more likely you're working off of 6. All right? Maybe you have a young child, so you're getting like 5 hours of sleep, or you're not fueling yourself properly with good nutritious food, or you're training too much for what you can recover from, or maybe you're just going through a stressful period of your life right now. All this to say, if you want to succeed with your weight loss goals, you have to simplify things and find how you can reach your goals with the least amount of effort and energy. That's the golden snitch. 100 points for Slytherin. Like, that's how you win the weight loss game. But this also means if you're not operating at full capacity now, as you get healthy and as you lose weight, you will have more energy. You will be able to do more. Weight loss is a multiplier, not a subtraction. So I want you to stop thinking about all of the time it takes to go on your walk or to meal prep or whatever it is. Think about your life with more energy, more patience, more confidence. Everything gets better when you're healthier. And that's why it's a multiplier and not a subtraction from your life. So what does this actually look like? It's understanding that the boring work and consistency will lead to better results over novelty. It's not chasing the new shiny thing, the revolutionary nutrition plan or hack or new workout, especially if it's going viral. If it's going viral, it's typically because it's crazy and new. But the basics is where you actually make progress. They won't tell you this, but the fit person you look up to didn't build their body or improve their health by doing that crazy exercise where they're balancing on the Bosu ball, doing a squat to shoulder press to bicep curl. They just did the boring stuff. But it's boring, so it won't go viral. So instead of actually being helpful, they post something that's crazy and sensational. So I guess with that line of thinking, we only have about 2K subscribers here because I'm just boring, and so maybe I'll never go viral. Anyways, who knows? Okay, so what are some examples of simple things and being smart with your energy on your weight loss journey? You gotta remove decisions. There's a thing called decision fatigue, and that's why at the end of the day, you typically make worse decisions because you've used up all of your mental energy for the millions of decisions you've made throughout the day. The average American actually makes 35,000 decisions every single day. Should I snooze my alarm or wake up? Should I wear this shirt or that one? What am I gonna eat for lunch today? And that's exactly why people like Steve Jobs wore the same thing every single day. It was one less decision he had to make. That's how important this is. So how can we do this but for our health? We have a system and structure for the things that we do. We can do this by setting a number of meals that you eat every day. It could be breakfast, lunch, one snack, and dinner. Now, you have to find what works best for you. That's the structure I follow, and I find that most people do well with. Try it out, but remember, fail fast. You have to see if it works for you or not. You can also have repeat meals. And look, there are levels to this. There is some variety you should have, but for those of you who are like, I can't eat the same meals every day, I need variety, and you're spending all your time and energy to find the healthy, high protein recipes on social media, then you gotta go grocery shopping for the 1,000 ingredients it takes to cook them. Then you gotta cook and then you gotta clean. If that works for you and you're actually seeing the fat loss results that you want, that's amazing. I've just found that those who succeed find and have their go-to meals. They have 5 to 10 meals that they can rotate throughout the week that's tasty and in alignment with their goals. You can actually just batch cook a base of protein like ground beef and turn that into multiple meals throughout the week. This is what I do. I'll have like 2 protein bases. I'll cook a couple pounds of ground beef and some chicken. I can have variety throughout the week by mixing and matching. I can take that ground beef and turn it into spaghetti. I'll add some noodles, cottage cheese, and marinara. Or I could put that ground beef and put it with some rice or potatoes for a burger bowl. The world is your oyster here, but that's how you can add some variety with your meals while minimizing the prep time. And another way to minimize the decisions is to have a workout program written out. Follow a structured workout program so that you know exactly what to do in the gym. That way you don't have to think about it. Without a plan, you're more likely to not do the workout or not even go to the gym, especially if it's after a long workday. Look, this is how simple things can really be. I'm actually 10 weeks into my own fat loss phase. I've maintained my weight comfortably for many, many years. And by the way, this is how you should view maintenance, as a range, not a specific number. It's a lot less pressure that way. So my maintenance range has been 160 to 170 pounds. But I've decided that I want to raise my standards. I want to raise what I deem acceptable for my own health and my own fitness. So I've decided that my maintenance range is going to be 150 to 160 pounds. It's the same process I had to go through when I lost the 80 pounds in the first place. These are the only things that I'm doing right now that have helped me go from this to this and will continue to get me to my goal. I have a daily step goal. I train 4 times a week. And I have to hit my macro targets. That's it. 3 simple things. I know at the end of the day, I need to make sure I hit my nutrition targets. I need to hit my step goal for the day. And the days that I work out, I have to go to the gym and train. And sometimes that means doing boring work when no one's watching, but you still have things to do. There have been a handful of times where it's 9 p.m. and I have to pace back and forth in my apartment like a crazy person because I still need to hit 2,000 steps for the day. I respond to clients, I reply to messages or comments, or I just doom scroll. But it's something I know I need to do if I want the outcome. Instead of just saying, oh, it's so late, it's okay, I don't have to hit it today. And it's another opportunity to learn. Ask yourself, why did you end up in this situation? Could you make some adjustments to get your steps earlier? Or was it just a crazy day, which happens sometimes and it can't be helped. But if it's a common occurrence, you need to make some adjustments. Quick 20-second pause. If you don't know where to start or you're stuck in a fat loss plateau and you want help, I got a great opportunity for you. I will personally find you at least 3 different fat loss fixes based off of what you're currently doing that you can start implementing this week for free. You can get signed up to get help through the first link in the description. Now let's get back into the video. The third sign you'll successfully lose weight this time around is being able to delay rewards or delayed gratification. You've probably heard of that before, but I want to add this idea of goal compression on top of it. The next time you find yourself in a situation where you want to give into your cravings or say screw it, ask yourself, do you want to feel good for the few minutes from the food, or do you want to feel good about the scale going down and you being proud of yourself? That's an example of delaying the reward. If you can delay the reward, you'll be able to experience and enjoy something so much more pleasurable than the few minutes of satisfaction from the food or from not working out. And the more that you do it, the more addicted you'll get to progress. Now I want you to give yourself something to look forward to. I want you to think about your dream outcome. Imagine how you'll feel, how you'll act, what you'll do differently when you reach your goal body or reach your fitness goal. And don't shrink the possibilities here. Be as wild as possible. Now, when you actually reach your goal, you might find that the outcome that you thought would happen isn't the case, but that's not the point. I thought that all the girls would want me when I first lost weight, which didn't happen at all, but that was my dream outcome at the time. And the thing about that is you'll never actually know until you actually get there. So give yourself something to look forward to, which brings up what I meant by goal compression. Goal compression is this idea of squeezing your long-term goal into chunks, and each of those chunks has its own rewards. You're bringing success closer and breaking it up into reachable checkpoints so that you don't have to delay your reward all the way until the end. And this could be things like massages, a new set of workout clothes, a staycation or vacation. And this is a pro tip. The deeper you get into your fat loss, make the reward more appealing, because as you go through your fat loss journey, it gets harder. So the reward has to be bigger. And I want to add, try no food rewards here. I heard someone talk about this a long time ago, and I haven't been able to unhear it since. They essentially said, you're not a dog, don't treat yourself with food. And I used to use food as treats all the time. Then I heard that and I was like, dang, why does that make so much sense? And don't get me wrong, food is still a part of how I celebrate things, but for this specific case, it's kind of counterproductive. It only strengthens that food reward thinking that we want to get out of here. That was the video. I hope it helped. If you learned something new or this changed your perspective on things, please consider dropping this video a like and leaving a comment. It gets lonely here, posting videos and no one seeing them, not having any conversations in the comments. Anyways, also, this is the video that I mentioned about dealing with cravings. If you think that would help you, go ahead and check it out. I'll see you over there.